Good morning, everyone. I have been away for a while, not because I am done making tutorials, but because I was finishing up my big custom campaign project that is now released. I am actually going to link it in the video below, because I'm really proud of it. Anyways, it's been over a month since I made a tutorial video, so I thought I'd come back to do something big, something quite interesting, and that would be how to make a SoundBank for BG3. This has been documented previously by FluxPixel, and FluxPixel did an amazing job creating a project for the program we are going to use to make the SoundBank. So you're going to need to download this project, and I'll explain everything to you step by step, because now things are getting quite confusing with the Wwise. I'm gonna say Wwise, I don't know how to pronounce that. So, but first of all, what is a SoundBank? So you might be aware that video games have some sort of system for playing music, and in BG3 we use WEM files, which is a sort of strange audio file format that we've discussed previously for voice lines. And up until now I've played music in my mods by just making any audio a voice line, and then sort of in a roundabout way making automatic dialogues to play music. But what we are going to do now is to create a proper SoundBank that contains all of the audio for our mod. And how are we going to do this? Well, we will follow the instructions here for the base project, and I only got it working on my 4th try, because this resource is amazing. However, like, following this step by step doesn't really work out, because it doesn't quite describe what you do in a step-by-step fashion, at least not very clearly. And it's also somewhat based on this lovely video tutorial for DOS2, how to add custom music, SoundBanks and stuff, which is made now, well, just 5 years ago.
20 seconds maybe.
And this modder goes through step by step how to do this with an older version of Wwise. So what I'm going to do for this video is just do everything step by step and show you that it works, and I will also make a step-by-step guide and post that in the video description. So of course everything I do here is based on the resources and tutorials created by FluxPixel and this lovely Divinity Modder. Since I already have a tutorial that involves Wwise and how to make WEM files, I'm not going to explain this in detail. But the first thing you have to do is to download Wwise. It says it has to be this version. I'm not entirely sure if it has to be, but what you do is you create an account, you get the Audiokinetic launcher, and oh, there's a lot of pop-ups. Remind me tomorrow. And you download the right version. So just to be sure, 2022 1.4 and 2022 1.4 we have installed it, which is great. Then what you do is download this project. So I have this project downloaded here. This is the base project. And what was not entirely clear to me from the tutorial is that you will not actually make your own Wwise project. You will open the base project and you can make the SoundBank from there. So we will have to download the project and some file templates. So let's do that. I now have this project file and the file templates here. I will unzip them. And of course we need some audio files. And they have to be in WAV format for some reason. So let's see if I have some that we can use for our SoundBank. Yeah, okay, so now I copied the WEM files. That is not what you want. You want the WAV files. So I can just show you also the settings for the WAV files you need. I have this MP3 file that I want to use. You can use any converter you want. I just thought this online converter was handy. We want 16-bit and we want the sample rate to be 44100. I guess we want it to be stereo. And we can start. So it's a little bit shitty to use this online tool to convert. It's just, it was quick. All right, so we are going to put this in our tutorial folder. And I guess we should add another WAV file as well, just so we can make a SoundBank of like more than one file. Let's take this one called Shadows. The credits for the different songs is posted in the video description. All right, so now we have the project, we have the file templates, and we have the 2 music tracks we want to put in our SoundBank. The next step for us is actually going to be to open the project. We will then open the base project. You see, so it's loading the correct build. Just make sure that if it matters, make sure that you open the right version of Wwise. Okay, so now we are in the base project and there are a few things we have to set up. First of all, we have to go to project settings and to SoundBanks, and we want to enable object GUID, max attenuation, and estimated duration. So you see it's already enabled here, which is cool, but double check that. Then you want to go into the share sets, the default work. My mouse is not working correctly. Default work unit, default conversion settings. The format should be set to Vorbis. And you can save that. So now we can import our audio files. You go to the audio tab. You want to have the actor mixer hierarchy, default work unit, and import audio files. Now we have to remember where we put them. Right, so we put our files in the SoundBank tutorial. These are the 2 files. Let's see. So these 2. So we are adding these 2 files, and then we have to actually check their settings. Whoop, that was not it. Quite confusing. We are looking for some settings. Let's see. Maybe. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so you select your audio file and general settings. You want to set it to stream, non-cacheable. If you want your audio track to loop forever, you can click this and it will loop infinitely or for a set number of loops. As you can see, you can do a bunch of stuff here. I'm not getting into it. And then, yeah, okay, so I selected the audio file, stream, non-cacheable, done. Now we have 2 music tracks in here, so we are going to make some events. And that will be in the default work unit. We will have to add some children. What we are going to do is add an event for playing our sound. We have 2 tracks. And then we will add some events for stopping the track. Stop. And we should name these appropriately. So rename. We will use this name later, so it's nice to have name it a bit systematically. I'll just call it Tut Nini, which is one of the tracks, and that would be the play. And then I will make Tut Nini stop. And the other one was called Shadows, was it? Well, if it wasn't called Shadows, it's called Shadows now. I will call it Tut Shadows play. And you want also then Tut Shadows stop. we will have to assign the target files, set target, we can browse, we have these two audio files, so that would be Nini. You can set some things here. I will show you when we get to stop, because the target for the stop is also the Nini file. So this is how the Nini song is stopped, and you can like set the fade time. You can drag this thing, like fade in 3 seconds, for example. You can set the fade out curve. You can do a bunch of stuff. Just let's remember to assign the audio. Yeah. So what we've done now is connect our soundtrack or our 2 tracks to some events. So we can now play them and stop them. Now we're going to assign some music states. I think that's like in GameSyncs, and you want the states for the default work unit. You want to add a child. State group. I don't think we have to do this. I think this is already in the project. So yeah, we want to add here music type. Aha. The point of this GameSync thing is that if you have a background soundtrack while exploring, for example, you want that to stop if you, for example, end up in combat. So explo. So the states are already in this project. If you look at the DOS2 video tutorial, the modder is adding all of these states, but you see that for BG3 there is a lot of stuff going on here. So what you want to do is go back to your audio files, and you click the file, and let's see, go to states, add state group. Yeah, so you want to add the state group that is called music type, and you will find it if you go down a little. Yeah, so music type, and the point of this is just to set the volume for combat to nothing, right? So your background music is not going to play during combat. If you want it to play during combat, or you want to turn it off in the menu or something like that, you can also do that. So I'm just going to make sure that I've added the music state for both of them. Music type. Sorry, states. Music type, and then you set fight to 0. Now we're actually ready to make a SoundBank, which means that you go into SoundBanks and you're in the default work unit, and don't mess with the config. Make a new child, call it SoundBank. You will give it a name. I'll call it tut YouTube SoundBank. Okay, we have made it. Now we can add things. We want to go to Layout, SoundBank, and select our SoundBank that is here. Whoop. Check Windows and Languages. What we're going to do now is select the SoundBank and select our events. Okay, press Ctrl and select it. See, so we have the SoundBank and we have our 4 events, so we're going to drag it over into the hierarchy inclusion. There we go, there we have it. And this, tata, is actually what we need from Wwise, and we're going to generate a SoundBank. Yeah, how do we do that? Generate SoundBanks. Completed with errors. I think it's probably okay. Don't worry about these error messages. As you can see in the Wwise trial version, you can have up to 200 tracks in your SoundBank, so I think that's doable. So okay, where did this file end up? It's in actually the project. In the base project we've now been editing, there's actually generated SoundBanks. You go into Windows, and here you can see we have something called YouTube SoundBank, and that is what we made. And in media, we can see our 2 files. They have now got an ID, so we're not quite sure which one is what, but we can maybe play it. We cannot play it, but we'll see. But we can play it with Fubar 2000. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the Shadows track, right? Scary, scary music. And then this one should be a cover of I Want to Live by the fabulous Nini-san, and we're going to listen to it later. Now, this is where the fun starts. We want to place this SoundBank into a project. I have a project that's called Perfect Creation. So this is the BG3 data folder for the toolkit and stuff, and you want to go into public. You want to go into your project, Perfect Creation, and there should be an assets folder. If there's not an assets folder, you will have to make it, and then you can make a folder called sound. And then you can go in here. So as you can see, I already have a SoundBank in here that's called SoundBank test number 4, which was the test I got working with 3 WEM files that are associated with it. What we're going to do is take our new SoundBank and the text file and put it in here. And we're going to take our WEM files and place them in here. So these 2 are now part of one SoundBank and the 3 others are part of a different one. There are a few steps with things we now need to do. And this is where the file templates come in. So FluxPixel has helpfully given us sort of a draft of how to set up the SoundBank text. And there's also an editable gameplay SoundBanks LXS and SoundBanks LXS. These we can edit with Notepad+. And basically what we want to do is put our SoundBank name in here for both of them. Here as well. And then what we actually have to do is to convert these file types into LSF with the lslib toolkit. Then we'll get to that. So I'll take you through this step by step. The game needs these files to understand how these weird-ass IDs connect to the SoundBank we've made. Alright, so the first step is really easy, because our SoundBank is called tut YouTube SoundBank. And we need to edit these 2 LXX files to just point to the right name. So I have copied the name and I just pasted the YouTube SoundBank. Save. And SoundBanks LXS, we also place the name of our SoundBank and we save. Now, these 2 files are updated. They need to be LSF format. So let's open the multi-tool. You can see that I've done this before recently. So let's just make sure that I'm selecting the right files. So gameplay SoundBanks LXS is going to become gameplay SoundBanks LSF. Like so. Convert it. And we're going to do that for the SoundBanks as well. You could also batch convert, of course, LSF. What's the problem? Okay, let's see. Is there something wrong in here? Yeah. I didn't edit the right file. Let's see. Okay, now the right file has been edited. And we were able to convert it. Cool, so now we have the 2 LSF files. I'm going to put them into my project. It will overwrite the 2 I already have, which is fine. We are only concerned with our YouTube SoundBank today. And then the last part is to update this text file. So instead of this text file that was exported from Wwise, we are going to use this template. You have to name it the name of your SoundBank. We can copy it in here. And this is what was not entirely clear from the Nexus tutorial. Like actually updating this file can be the very last step of the SoundBank generation process. What we want to do is actually find the information we need. And do I remember how to do that? Let's see. To find the correct information, we actually have to go back to this folder inside the project folder, generated SoundBanks, and there should be a SoundBanks info XML. Let's open this with like Notepad+. And oh, this is super confusing if you've like never been into this sort of thing before. In here, one should hope that we have our files. Yeah, so in this case, for some reason, I actually had to like search for my files. I searched for the Nini file name, so probably a good idea to have a good file name. And then what we want to do is take the information, and you will see it here. So here is the Nini play, Nini stop, shadow play, shadow stop. And first of all, we want the GUID. So I'm just going to leave this example up here, and then we can enter our new entries down here. So that is the GUID for Nini play. The name of Nini play is actually Nini play. The ID is this field. And the duration would be this number. Just do tab. And then 0 can be set to 0, I think. I'm going to double check that, but I think maybe it should be -1. Let's have a look at my last one. Yeah. Yeah, you want to set the last thing to -1. Yeah, so do it on the right line, yeah. Okay. So that's 1, and we have 3 more to go. We want to put in the Nini stop. I'm just going to put the names here and I'll organize it later. It's easy to get confused. Oop. Make sure to not get any weird signs in there. So okay, the GUID for Nini stop is this one. There we go. The ID for Nini stop is this one. There you go. The duration for Nini stop is 0 because it's stopped. All of them is going to need -1 in the end. Just put it there. Let's see. Tut shadows play has this GUID. There we go. And it also has an ID, which is this one. And it has a duration. This long. And then finally we have the Tut shadows stop, which has this GUID, tab, and an event name. Like so. And the duration of a song that stopped is 0. And I will now remove the example. And we just double check. So we have the name of our SoundBank. That is correct. We have here in our mod folder in the assets/sound, we have 2 WEM files that are part of the SoundBank. We have the actual YouTube SoundBank B and K file. And we have this text file called YouTube SoundBank that should have the entries correctly listed. And then we have the two files that we had to make that point to the SoundBank we just made. So let's then open the game and see if this works. So what we want to do now is import our SoundBank. We want to go to the resource manager. We want to add the resource, the little crayon thingy. We want to add sound, and we need to select bank files. And as you can see, when we do that and we put it in the correct folder, we'll find our tutorial, YouTube SoundBank here. We will add it. All right. And we should actually see our files here. Why don't we? Yeah, we should see our files here, so we have to check if we messed something up. Hilarious. Okay, let's see. This is the file we made. The last one I made, it did work. Aha! We have a rogue 0. Let's remove it. Let's see if that did the trick. We are now going to import SoundBank. YouTube. Okay, yes, we can see it. For some reason we don't have shadow stop, but whatever, fine. Let's take them. It will take a moment to think about this. And then in perfect creation we should actually have something. Yeah, so you can see we have the sound files in here now. And in the perfect world, I think you're supposed to be able to open this and play it. Doesn't currently work. Does it work for my other files? Not really, so you just have to imagine what they look like until you enable them somehow. So this is a really good sign. So we have Gale here, and I think Gale is probably going to want to do two things. He wants to go into a sound volume trigger, and maybe we can interact with this candle to play a different song. So for the candle, we just need to set the use action to play sound instead of sending a use event to Osiris. Play sound, cool. So the point of all that we've been doing today is actually to be able to select our sound events from here. Do we have some files called tut? Of course we do, because that's used in game. But shadows, what did we call that? Tut shadows, did we? Yeah, see? So now we can assign tut shadows play to the candle. And then I think I want to have a sound volume trigger, for example, or a music volume trigger even, in this little cute area. So what you can do then is change the shape to box, and you can look at the events. We find the music volume trigger here, and just make sure that, you know, Gale will be able to walk into it. And then we can set the sound event, and I think in this cozy little area we want the Nini song, right? The cover of I Want to Live. So we will have to put it here, and that one is called Nini, so Nini play. And then you could make a trigger with Nini stop if you'd like. I want it to play when we enter the area. And we save. So let's see how it goes. Gale is going to walk into this area, sit down, and just, you know, listen to some music.
Your soft caresses cold and still.
Gale is just sitting there waiting for Astarion, but then he walks out.
I didn't know you were back then. I blame it all on luck and rain.
Somehow, several things are playing at
Your
once,
blood
right?
is wine. I
Okay.
want to
So let's reload the level and story. The music should probably stop. And Gale is still standing here, lonely, and is going to click on this scary candlestick, which starts some really creepy music. Yeah. So there we go. We have created a SoundBank. Please enjoy, and I hope this is useful to you. Remember to unpack and repack your mod after export to have the audio work in-game.